Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be giving you an update of what it's like to be on the road selling my artwork for the last entire month and just kind of giving you a play-by-play of the order, how everything happened. You can think of this like a podcast and just listen to it as like a story of an artist's journey or like an audiobook if you want to. But yeah, I hope that maybe if this is something that you're considering, you will take some nuggets of information of things that we've done that you maybe want to implement into your booth setup. Also, some feedback on maybe if you think doing a month on the road will be for you or not, because it's definitely not for everybody. And then if you're not looking to do this, but you're just curious about how it goes and interested in my life, stick around because you'll hear a little bit about the journey, the behind the scenes, and my mental health along the way because it's been rocky. So, yeah. Let's get started. All right. So if you don't know who I am, my name's Hannah. I'm a full-time working artist. I do nude portraits in a style that I call Scribble art, and I use a pen that's made out of glass. Previously, I've been vending at fine art fairs every summer to sell my artwork and also some level 2 and 3 fairs. If you don't know anything about my tiered fair system, I have an Instagram video kind of breaking it down, but basically there are, in my experience, 4 different tiers of art fairs. So starting with like breweries, pop-up shops at breweries and that kind of stuff. And then like more put together fairs that still allow like general businesses and they're not like super fine art specific. Level 3 fairs are usually going to be more fine art specific but have a little bit of leeway. You could maybe sell limited edition prints or stickers. And then level 4 fairs that are like original art only or like limited edition prints only. So this month of June, I had purchased a van for my company, Scribble. Scribble is an art supply and gift shop. So we sell stickers, patches, earrings, pride flags, some merch, and that kind of stuff. It's considered a business, not an artist, because we have multiple artists who work with Scribble. And I created Scribble as a way to create jobs for creatives in the community, create passive income for artists who don't have the capacity to be running businesses, and also to carry on my mission as an artist wanting to teach people art. And I came out with an art supply a couple years ago, and Scribble sells it for me now, essentially. So I've started Scribble as a kind of passive income route for myself, but also for other artists because we sell other artists' work as well. So Scribble, we purchased a van. It's a living camper van. We got it wrapped on the outside by Daystar Custom Signs. You can check them out, daystarcustomsigns.com. And yeah, they wrapped the outside of the van and we take it on this 1 month long road trip selling at Pride festivals across the US. So we started with Pittsburgh Pride, which I do actually have a video recapping the first couple days of Pittsburgh Pride, but then every other day after that we were either too exhausted, too stressed, on the move, or car sick, so we didn't get any other videos filmed. So hopefully next year we will be a little bit more on the ball with that, like actually filming the process along the way. But instead you get this little debrief video that I'm making here, where we're just chilling on my sister's bed because I'm currently in Minneapolis. Minneapolis Pride is tomorrow, and my hotel reservation isn't until tomorrow, so I'm crashing at my sister's place for a night. Kind of feel like I'm back in college because I'm in Dinkytown, which is the college town here in Minneapolis. So, okay. Pittsburgh Pride. I had never done Pittsburgh Pride before, but it was a really, really great experience. I think the booth fee was around $200. It was super affordable, the most affordable Pride, I think, for what we did. We had 3 days of the festival, so yeah, that was incredible. They were really long days. With setup and teardown, we did clock 35 hours for the entire weekend, but we definitely made our money's worth. My goal typically when I do a vendor show is to make 10 times the booth fee back, which 10 times 200 is only $2,000, and we definitely crushed that. We made much, much more than that, which was amazing. But when we factored in like travel expenses, food, whatever, blah, 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 our profit was only a couple $1,000s for the company, which is still great, but definitely nothing like huge because we did have to drive so far. And I'm planning to do like a full video like breaking down like how much each show costs with gas, booth fees, food, time, blah, 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 blah. Really doing like in-depth breakdowns of all of them. And I know I keep saying I'm going to post those videos. I really am. They they take me needing to sit down and run the numbers, and I'm a very busy person, so I haven't had a chance to do it. I tried to do it in the car, and then I started to get really, really car sick, so I've realized that I can't do that kind of stuff in the car anymore. But Pittsburgh Pride was super cool. It was kind of odd because they switched locations after 2 days, which was less than ideal. So we started at the park for 2 days, and then the second day we packed everything up, and then the third day we reset everything up for the last day. From what I understand, it's because the park is the normal location of it, but then the last day they wanted it to be in the neighborhood. So I really like that, actually. I think that was great. I enjoyed the festival all 3 days. And yeah, it was a really fun time. The festival had a few organization kinks as far as like loading in and loading out, and I heard a lot of the vendors had some issues with like load in, load out, and that kind of stuff, and like the communication wasn't fabulous. But from what I understand, the owners recently took it over a couple years ago, so the staff is mostly fully new to running this festival, and they've grown it like a lot in the last couple years since they took it over. So I think they're doing a really great job. And I would definitely vend at this event again. If you're near the Pittsburgh area, definitely consider vending there. And yeah, I love vending at Pride festivals because a lot of my artwork, since I am a queer artist as well, speaks to other queer people. And so being able to be at Pride festivals puts our stuff right in front of the people who are going to most value it already in the first place. And so the energy is usually just amazing. Everyone is such a big fan and just vibing, and like people seeing representation in my artwork that they don't normally see in other places is really cool. So that's why I like vending at Pride festivals. But yeah, I'm like sweating. I have this thing where my upper lip sweats first. So if you notice me ever wiping my upper lip, it's because that's where I sweat first on my face. It's so weird. Okay, moving on. After Pittsburgh Pride, we stayed in Pittsburgh for about 5 days at an Airbnb. And then we road tripped and we took a 2-day break in Baltimore. So we spent 2 days in Baltimore before heading to DC, which is where our next event was. In Baltimore, we took a glass blowing class, and it was so fun. It was at a place called McFadden Art Glass, something like that. McFadden, if you look it up. And it was amazing. I have never tried glass blowing before, but one of my favorite artists just recently started doing it, and I've always thought it was very cool. And so Ashley and I both made glass bowls, and they turned out really, really cool. And we befriended the glass blower, who is maybe going to try and make some glass pens for Scribble Lady, which I'm very excited about. And yeah, we kind of just explored Baltimore. And then in the evening, one of the nights, our glass blowing instructor actually came out for drinks with us and showed us around a little bit more, and also taught us how to eat crabs the Baltimore way, which was really cool. And just like, I don't know, I think that was one of my favorite days of the trip because it was just like very spontaneous. And I actually had the day off for once, which was nice. But like every other day of the trip up to that point, I felt like I was working because I was either driving, trying to work in the car, or trying to like catch up on emails. And so that day I actually like took the day off, and it felt really good. But those days have been few and far between, and getting fewer and fewer and fewer. So after Baltimore, we went to DC, and we got there a couple days early in DC as well because we wanted to do some DC Pride events. We wanted to go to the Pride Festival, the parade, because Ashley and I had never been to a parade before, besides I went to the FM parade last year. So we went to the DC parade, and it was super fun. We wore our matching outfits. It was great. And then, we had the DC festival on Sunday, and they have their shit together at DC Pride, which they're hosting World Pride in 2 years, and I definitely think I want to attend that. But first of all, I loved that they put up everybody's tent for you. You got there and your tent was already set up. It was amazing. They had load in and load out times. They had like people on every corner directing people where to go. Like it was the easiest load in that I've ever seen. And then I got a parking spot that was literally right around the corner, which was amazing. And we were right by the stage, so we could hear all of the performers, including Idina Menzel. And it was just like, it was really great. We did have to like move our booth setup around a little bit because we were working with like a pre-set up tent, so we couldn't do our full normal setup, and it was also on like a bit of a slant, but it wasn't horrible, and the weather was beautiful. And we did the same number of sales in 1 day at DC Pride that we did in 3 days at Pittsburgh Pride, which was insane. But I definitely understand, and like the flow of traffic at DC Pride was very similar to what it's like at Minneapolis Twin Cities Pride. So I was very happy with the turnout of that. And again, the energy of everyone in DC was amazing and so fun. And yeah, I would definitely attend DC Pride again. But our hotel, we stayed in an Airbnb, but it was very expensive. I paid about $1,000, I think, for the 5 days that we were there. So definitely something to like keep in consideration, but I would definitely do DC Pride again. And then after DC Pride, I dropped off Ashley at the airport. She flew home to continue managing the store. And my friend Allie flew in to help me with the rest of the trip. And then we took a stop in Philly, and then we did a 2-day stop in Boston, and we hung out with a couple of my friends in Boston, including Gregory Paul's art. If you don't know who Gregory is, you gotta check him out. Gregory Paul S. Art on Instagram. He also does Scribble art, and he's an amazing human being, and he is doing really cool Scribble ghost project, so you should check him out. Yeah, we hung out with him. He showed us some cool spots in Boston, yeah, I'm still thinking of moving there, so it was kind of fun to just kind of like be in the city. My back's kind of hurting now from like laying on my stomach. Filming YouTube videos is a lot of work, do you think? Yeah, it is. Look at I have boob socks. You see them? Okay, yeah, so Boston for a couple of days, and then we did the next 2 days in Rehoboth, which is right near Providence, Rhode Island. We didn't stay in Providence because it was expensive, so we stayed in an Airbnb like 20 minutes outside. And Providence Pride was the worst festival I've ever done in my entire career. Now, mind you, my career is 3 years long of doing art fairs, but it rained the entire time. It was raining during setup, which I've only ever had a festival raining during setup once, and it was the Grand Forks Street Fair 2 years ago, and I vowed never to do a festival again after that because it was so miserable. Literally, while I was setting up the booth, someone else's tent flew into someone else's tent and completely knocked it over. And like the rain plus the wind, it's just ridiculous. So if you get like that deadly combo, it's awful. Your stuff gets ruined, like whatever. And if you have to set up in the rain, that means you have to put up your tent first, which is not bad, but then you have to like have everything under your tent while you're setting up your tent. And I normally like pile all my stuff off to the side and then only set up the stuff that's going in the tent as it's going in. So it's like, it's just really annoying, and it takes a lot longer to get set up. And then because of all of the rain, the festival coordinators didn't have like a rain backup plan, and so like a bunch of the vendors were just like setting up in random locations, and it was like very chaotic. It all ended up working out okay, and like their whole staff is like mostly volunteer led, so like definitely can't be too hard on them because of that. And you could tell that they were pretty stressed out because the rain was unexpected. So hopefully next year they have like a solid rain plan, if that is to happen again. But it all ended up working out okay. And after like 4 hours of rain, there was a lightning, and then they like shut down the whole festival, and we all had to go sit in a parking garage for 30 minutes because of the lightning. And then we were allowed to go back out to the festival, but like half the vendors had picked up and left early, which I kind of find annoying sometimes, just because like then when people show up to the festival later in the day, they're like, oh, it's not so cool. But what can you do? But it actually ended up being like a really, really great festival. We like hit our goal, and I really didn't think we were going to because of the rain. Like usually if it's raining for an entire day, like I make like, I don't know, a fifth of the sales I would normally make, and we like hit our regular goal. Like we busted through our rain goal and we hit our regular goal, which was super cool, and like really exciting to know. And yeah, it ended up being a great show besides the fact that it was raining all day. And then teardown was miserable. It was so awful because it was pouring. We had to take everything down inside the tent and then like slowly cart it to the car so that it wouldn't get wet. And we were so tired by the end of the night and exhausted. It was a mess. And I think that's what made the show so awful. It was just like the tearing down in the rain. But like, that's the only show I've ever done where I've had to tear down in the rain. Usually the rain stops before teardown. So it is what it is. Ended up being a great show. The crew there was super nice, super helpful. And I didn't have to register to pay sales tax in Rhode Island because they have like a temporary show permit, which if you do shows like this, you know that it's kind of a nightmare trying to get a sales tax permit in every state. So this was very nice to know. And then after Providence Pride, when we got home that night, we took the tent out of the van because it was sopping. We had to let it sit on our porch overnight, and then the next morning we put it up so that it would dry. We had to hang all of our walls over the porch to like dry before putting them in the car so they wouldn't get moldy. It was a whole thing. Then the next day we drove 10 hours to Cleveland, Ohio, but we stopped in Niagara Falls on the way because Allie had never seen the Niagara Falls and I hadn't been there since I was like 12. So it was a nice little pit stop, went to Niagara Falls, and then we drove the rest of the way to Cleveland, got into Cleveland around like 10 o'clock at night, I think. And then we spent the next day in Cleveland. Allie did a like make your own candle class. And we went to like, I don't know, some touristy things, walked around, got some margaritas that were really delicious at this like waterfront place that I don't remember the name of. And then we went back to our Airbnb and watched the entire new season of, what is it called? The new season of, what's that show? Why am I blanking on it? Manifest. We watched the new like half season of Manifest, like the whole thing. And then we drove the rest of the way the next day to Minneapolis, and now we're here in Minneapolis. And I'm staying at my sister's for a night, and then Twin Cities Pride is this weekend, and I was gonna work yesterday and today, and I worked for a couple hours yesterday, but I'm really exhausted. I'm honestly so exhausted. I'm so tired, and I'm just like, my body hurts. My hair is frustrating me because it's way too long. I haven't gotten a haircut because I refuse to get my hair cut by someone who's not my hairstylist. Also, it needs to be colored. And like, I'm kind of sick of eating out of a cooler, if I'm being honest, but it's not bad because like we've been doing a pretty good job of like making food. It's not like I've just been eating sandwiches every day. But yeah, I'm tired. I'm really tired. So I took the day off today. And then tomorrow we set up at 3 p.m. So I kind of have like the morning off, but I'm going to prep our like lunches. I'm going to make some chicken Caesar wraps and stuff, so that they're ready for Saturday. And then tomorrow after we get done setting up, we can go do some like pride events. One of my friends is coming. A couple of my friends are coming actually, and we're going to go do some things. And then we have work Saturday, work Sunday, and then I'm driving back to Fargo, and I'll be in Fargo for the 4th of July weekend, which I'm very excited about. So that is like my full week off. And then it just gets crazy again because I have a show every weekend for the next month, plus my TED Talk. So it's been a wild ride. It's been busy. It's been a lot. And I'm tired. I'm really tired. But I also don't think I would change it. I'm very grateful for all of the experiences I've had. Grateful that I have a business that can just pay for me to travel. Like, I haven't had to spend any money because my business has been paying for housing and food. Same with the people who have come with me. Basically got like a free vacation in exchange for working, and also paid for working, which is the kind of things I want to provide as a business owner. I think it would be really cool if every summer we could just employ a bunch of teams of people to go out and travel for the summer. So there's that. I've had a couple breakdowns though, I'm not gonna lie, just like with like having to manage my business and then also plan this trip and then also like plan for the future, because it never stops planning for the future. And it's just been a lot. And so some things I'm really hoping to have more under control next year is I want to have a dedicated person like in charge of booking the trade shows, all the details with the trade shows, hotels, and all of that kind of stuff, so that I don't have to like worry about it. But like a main thing that I'm getting out of the trip this year is like budget. It's like I had like estimates of how much I thought it would cost to do like this road trip and stuff, but now I have like actual numbers. And also I've never been to any of these festivals before, so like I didn't know like how much we were going to take home from the festivals and like all that kind of stuff. So now that I have all of this, I'm gonna be able to like really make a budget for next year and like figure out if A, it's worth it, or B, we want to do it again, see if we want to change anything, and that kind of stuff. So it's cool, it's great, but yeah, I'm exhausted, and I don't want people to think that I'm not exhausted, because I think that's like a very real part of doing art festivals and shows and stuff is it's exhausting. It really is. And that's why, part of the reason why I started Scribble Lady, so that Scribble Lady can do a lot of the selling for me. Whereas like fine art fairs, the artist has to be there. But for like business fairs and like festivals, and a lot of festivals and things that we're signing up with Scribble Lady, like the actual artist doesn't have to be there, which allows me and the other artists who are working with Scribble Lady time to actually create, and then we can go to some of them if we want to. And yeah, the goal is next year I won't be this tired all the time, because I'm exhausted. I'm so tired, and I need a massage really badly, so I'm gonna do that. But yeah, I just wanted to do like an update for you all, and kind of just share how things have been going, and overall they've been going great. But yeah, that's what it's like, and I'm gonna do some breakdowns of like how much we spent on the road trip costs and like all that kind of stuff, so you have an idea of like what it would maybe cost for you if you want to try and do it next year. And like where I found the applications for all the shows and stuff too. So stay tuned for that, and also check out my whole series of videos for artists and vending at art fairs and stuff. But yeah, I'm excited to be home and actually just like painting, because I have so many ideas of paintings I want to do now, but I just need time to like sit down and paint them, and then I'll be able to start sharing more of my paintings with you, which I'm excited about. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching my video, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm so close to 100,000 subscribers, and I think that means I get a silver play button, which is really cool. And also, yeah, supporting me on YouTube supports me financially, which is super cool. Especially because starting a new business was very expensive. And I can use all the support I can get right now at the moment. So thanks for watching, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.